Hello and welcome to my beginner's guide for the free-to-play Diablo Immortal player. So if you're brand new to this game, just starting out, and you want to know what the experience is like, and also you don't want to waste your time by being confused by all the different mechanics and trying to figure out which elements are really meant to lean into people that are going to spend a ton of money versus those just that want to come in and enjoy this game for free, well then you are in the right place. In this video, I'm going to tell you and show you what your experience is going to be like leveling up. And then also, as you reach max level and get ready for the true endgame progression, I'm going to go over all the different kind of mechanics, tell you which elements you're going to lean into and get the most out of as a free-to-play player. And then I'm going to highlight also the elements that you're probably going to want to ignore and not waste as much time on because it's really meant to take all of your money. So won't you stick around and listen as we take a look at my beginner's guide for free-to-play players in Diablo Immortal. And remember, if you find this guide helpful, dropping a like and a comment goes a long way to supporting the channel. Now let's go and take a look. Alright guys, so here we are on my totally free-to-play player. I am currently level 33, and we're going to talk about a couple of things right away. So, what do you need to know as a free-to-play player? The nice thing starting out as a free-to-play player is you're going to get the full campaign 100% for free, and it is super friendly for free-to-play play. You're not going to need to spend money to get through the main campaign. Now, what I recommend is when you get started, just simply follow the main story. However, as soon as you get into Westmarch, and this is Westmarch, this is the main hub, there's a lot of stuff here. It can be a little overwhelming, but I'm going to teach you all about it in this guide. But the reason I mention is once you get here, you will be introduced to the bounty quartermaster and the bounty board. And every single day, you're going to be able to access this board and pick up new bounties, numerous bounties. Now, the reason I mention this is once you unlock this from just playing the game through the story, the very first thing you're going to want to do every single day when you log on is come over here. And again, the bounty board is in the palace courtyard. It's in the northwest kind of corner here. There's a teleporter here, the palace courtyard waypoint. Come here and pick up your quests and do these first before you do the main story. You're going to get a lot of EXP. You're going to get some gold, and you're going to potentially get some random items. The main thing you want here is EXP. Now, why do I mention this? I mention this because if you just go straight through doing mainly the quests, you're going to run into the same problem I did. And this happened with me when I first played, and I just retested it. If you go through the story, you're going to run into this first block right here. See where it says reach level 35 to continue your main story, basically? You're going to be about level 32 when you hit this. If you start doing these daily quests, max them out every single day, you are going to most likely be 35 or pretty close to it once you get to this point. So that's the first thing you want to do. Every single day when you log on as a free-to-play, as soon as you unlock the bounty boards, and you're probably going to be kind of low 20s, low mid-20s when you unlock it, come here, do those every single day, and then go and do your main quest. The next thing to introduce you to as a free-to-play player is this feature right here in the upper left-hand corner. This is your Codex, and it's very important because it's going to give you a list of a bunch of activities, okay? And all of these activities here, notice they will say daily activity rewards, and there's going to be a featured one here. Don't worry about what's featured or not. You can do any of these at any time. Now, why are these important? They're important because when you do them, you're going to get a variety of rewards. You can get mysterious loots, including legendary items. You're going to get also these battle points, and we'll talk about those in just a second. And you can do them multiple times. Here I'm going to claim this one. Notice my battle pass just leveled up. We'll talk about that in just a second. Here's another one. We did one for doing bounties. You can get credit up to doing these up to 16 times, and there's a variety of them. You're going to be doing bestiaries. We'll talk about those in a second as well. You're going to do challenge rifts. All these different things are going to unlock. These right here, by the way, are the different dungeons. As you do them in the main story, you're going to be able to unlock them and then get various rewards. So this is all very, very, very important. Okay, so why do we care about this other than the rewards and the EXP here? Well, as I mentioned, you're going to get battle points. And what are the battle points for? They're for the battle pass. But wait, Leeroy, you said this is free to play. Yes, it is. There is a free version of the battle pass that you do not want to underestimate. Why? Because, and then again, they don't really emphasize this when they sell it because they want you to buy the paid one, which again, it's a good value, but we're here for free to play. The thing is, you're still going to get some nice rewards, but the main thing you care about is the EXP. Every single time you finish up one of these, so here right now, to go to level 7, we need 120 of these, right? 120 battle points. You're going to hit this next battle pass level, and this is going to give you a huge amount of EXP towards your next level. And this stuff adds up pretty quickly. Notice, for example, your bestiary, this is a big one. It's going to give you 40. And that brings me to the bestiary. This is huge for a free-to-play player. This is your Horadric altar. You're going to also unlock this rather early in the game. And what this does is basically just the bestiary compendium. You go unlock it, just information, lore information, all the enemies. This is just for look. Obviously, I don't have very much unlocked right now on this character. My other character has almost all of unlocked. But what you care about is when you're out in the world. So this does not count in dungeons. But when you're out in the greater world killing mobs, you are going to have these little yellow orbs drop. Okay? And what's going to happen with these orbs is when you get 10 of them, you're going to get a little notification here. And it's going to say you can turn them in. And you can turn up to 3 of these in here at the Horadric altar for a massive EXP buff, a higher than average chance for even legendaries. And this is going to be one of the big ways that you're going to level up. Now here's the key. As soon as you get 10 of these orbs, you cannot have more drop. So you got to pay attention. Again, part of the Codex, it's this Bestiary Codex. You'll notice mine says pages for today, 2 out of 3. I have gathered this twice, meaning in today's day, I've already gotten 20 of these, and I've gotten a total of 80 battle points. Just doing that for killing normal mobs, that's basically 2/3 of a battle pass level. That's huge. Now here's the cool thing. The first 3 times you do this, you get all this bonus rewards and EXP, and you get a bunch of loot. You can do this more than 3 times though. If you play a lot during the day, you're still going to get EXP and rewards. They're just not as extreme. But I've had days where I grind for a bunch and I've finished this 5, 6, 7 times. Just do note, it's very easy to just not pay attention. Get 10 out of 10 on these bestiaries, not notice that you have the little notification in your Codex telling you to go turn it in, and then you're not getting it. So pay attention. Whenever you get your monster little orbs filled up to 10, whatever you're doing, pause it, port back to town, turn it in here at the bestiary. All the mini caps have these as well. So you can just port to your nearest one, turn it in, and move on. This is going to give you a ton of EXP. Between the bounty boards and these bestiaries, just those 2, if you keep up with them, it's going to help your leveling up tremendously. Okay, now, as you level up, you will also get introduced to 2 more different rifts. So you have the Elder Rifts. These are Elder Rifts. Make sure you come here once a day at least to pick up your daily reward and get one of these crests. Now, really, the main purpose for this, it's a way for people to spend crests. You have 2 different crests. The rare ones that you're going to get for free from a bunch of activities. You have a 5% chance of getting a legendary gem. And then otherwise, you're just going to get normal equipment. And there's the legendary crests here. These are the ones that you either buy with real money or you seldomly sometimes get from different activities. And we'll discuss that later in the video. But this is also a good form of getting some little bonus EXP, a chance of legendaries, and also getting fading embers. These are never bad because you can use these to later on get more chances at legendary gems. I have a full video on this. It's not fast. It's maybe 1 to 2 extra legendary gems per month, but it is for free. and it doesn't hurt you. You just get it automatically. Now, at the very least, I like to do this at least once or twice a day. And again, this is because of this codex. So you're always gonna, or sometimes, right now I don't have it here. No, yes I do, just kidding. I have it right here. So chances of a legendary, and you're gonna get this, you're gonna get the battle points as well. Now, this second one is called the Challenge Rift. So the Elder Rift is actually rather easy. It's meant so you don't fail it, because it's really meant to be just like a loot pinata for people that do the legendary gems. It's, you know, instead of just popping in money and getting your legendaries, they have you do this run. This, on the other hand, is a little different, and it will raise in difficulty. You want to start doing these, but what you're gonna see as you level up, at some point you're gonna hit a wall, because this will basically scale up. It's going to give you better and better rewards as you level up, but it's going to keep increasing the challenge difficulty of the monsters. Once you've kind of hit the difficulty that's equivalent to what your gear, your equipment is, the monster's going to do more damage to you, and you're going to do less damage to them. Eventually you're going to hit a wall. This is very, very normal. Don't stress out about it. You just want to push yourself to your limit and then wait till you get better gear, and then you can do more and more. The main reason for getting this is enigmatic crystals. This is very important because this is probably the main way that you as a person, as a free-to-play player, is going to get these, and this is going to help you upgrade your secondary gear, meaning your jewelry. And we'll talk about that when we talk about crafting. So note, this is something you want to do. You're going to have your own little level that you're going to hit. It's good EXP, it's decent loot, but mainly you're getting it for the enigmatic crystals is why you're doing this. So as you level up, these are the activities you're gonna do. So overall, you're gonna log in every day, do your bounties, make sure as you're just doing your quests, you're just going to do your bestiaries. Make sure every time you get 10, you come back. You can do your 1 elder lift or 2 elder lifts that you feel like doing. Make sure just do your challenge rifts until you hit that wall for your current gear level, and you'll know, because you'll just start dying. You're not going to finish in time. It's not a big deal. But do that, and then do your questing. Follow that process until you hit level 60, or you're going to be pretty close to level 60 when you finish your main story. And once you hit your main story, you're gonna get to the end game at level 60. I'm gonna swap over to my other character to show you all of the other features that you're gonna unlock along the way. So again, follow the current advice till you get 60 as a free-to-play player, and then let's take a look at all the features you're gonna be taking part of at level 60. All right, guys, so here we are now at level 60. And we're going to start exactly where we were before. So you're level 60, and now there's a couple things that are going to change. The first thing you're going to be able to do is once you hit level 60, you're going to be able to progress through the hell difficulties, okay? So normal difficulty is level 1 to 60, and as soon as you hit 60, you're going to want to switch to hell 1, and this is for Paragon levels 1 to 60, even though you can change earlier. And what this is going to do is going to change the whole world to where all the monsters are going to be basically level 60, which is nice because now no matter where you go in the world for daily quests, you're going to get full EXP and gear that's going to be equivalent to your difficulty level, in this case, Hell 1. Also, it's going to let you go and do dungeons and get set items that we'll talk about when we talk about crafting in a second. That's a big, big deal. And basically, your end game progression, just like people that spend money, is going to be the same. You're going to grind levels, you're going to get gear, and you're going to go up in Paragon levels, and you're going to go through the Hell levels. As you go into higher Hell levels, things get more difficult, better gear drops, and more pieces of your secondary set drops. Your secondary are your jewelries, and there's 2, 4, and 6 piece set bonuses for very, very powerful effects that we'll take a look at. So again, for example, on Hell 4 so far, and goes all the way up to Hell 5, so you can get up to 600 Paragons. This is a lot of grinding. Don't worry about it. It's going to take a while, but just know there's lots to do even as a free-to-play player once you hit level 60. So just imagine you're on Hell 1 difficulty, right? So here we are. So what do you do when you log in? So when you log in, before anything else, you're going to be what's called an adventurer, okay? So as you work through your story, you're going to be introduced to something called the Shadows and also the Immortal system. Just think of these as two vying factions. The Immortals are kind of in charge of the city, and the Shadows are trying to overthrow them. And you can either join the Shadows, and I have an extensive video about the Shadows, you can check that out. And if you join the Shadows through the lottery or somebody inviting you, then you can be part of a guild, basically a clan, and the top clans will go and try and dethrone the Immortals. Or you could, for example, if you're lucky, get invited to be an Immortal, either through if they recruit you for whatever reason, which is less likely as a free-to-play player, or if you're part of the Shadows and your clan is one of the top 3 clans that becomes the new Shadows every cycle. Now, if you're wondering what a cycle is, and right now you'll notice here on the left it says cycle spoils, we just had a cycle. My guild just lost Immortals. It happens. The game is kind of rigged to change every 3 to 5 weeks. I'll go over it a little bit in just a little bit when we talk about it, but basically know that every 3 to 5 weeks on average, you're going to see a swap. Whenever that happens, everything resets, like your leaderboards, etc. It's a fresh start. Whoever is an Immortal becomes an Adventurers. All the Shadows that didn't become the Immortals become Adventurers. Everything kind of reboots. Now again, you right now, as a fresh level 60, you are an Adventurer. So we're not worried about the Shadows or the Immortals. You have the option of staying as an Adventurer or try and join one of the other 2 organizations. We'll talk about the pros and cons of that in just a moment. But for now, how do you level up? How do you progress as a free-to-play player? Well, you're going to go back to your Codex. Remember that? Cool. So with the Codex, you're going to, again, if you are not sure what to do, check out whatever these are here. Now, I want to point out a couple of new things. There's new features that are going to pop up depending what you're doing. Ignore Raid the Vault. This is something for Shadows only, and also the Immortals are going to have a different version of that. But I do want to point out something. When it comes to dungeons, and this is important, you'll notice we'll have these double arrows. This is important. These are the featured dungeons. And so right now for this week, it's for Destruction's End and Pit of Anguish. If you are farming for the set pieces that we'll talk about, this is what you want to do because they have a higher chance to drop. All the other ones, you're not going to have any, just normal drop rates, which are lower. So I normally recommend as a free-to-play player, you want to get your set pieces. The best way to do this, best chance to get them as quickly as you can, is focus on farming these 2 dungeons if they drop the set pieces that you want. And again, we'll talk about how to identify that in just a second. But again, if in doubt, as an Adventurer, so meaning not in Shadows, not in the Immortals, go here and just take a look at what everything is worth and do whatever interests you. You can always see all the stuff that you'll get for completing it, which is kind of nice. Normally crafting materials, EXP, and again, things for your battle pass. You want to get that battle pass because again, this is going to now above level 60 going to help you level up your Paragon levels. So that's the first thing to note. You're still going to be doing your Bestiary, etc. That's all going to stay the same. You're just going to have a lot more of them as you level up here. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to give you a tour of Westmarch and all the locations and what they're going to provide you for as a free-to-play player, and also emphasize the stuff that's not going to be that important to you. We're going to start with Yakin, the rarities and antiquities dealer. Now this guy, do not underestimate his powers. Notice what he's going to do here is you can basically gamble your gold, and gold is a free-to-play currency, to get items. Now this is actually quite good. When you're level 60 and you're trying to gear up, you can purchase these. The very first 5 purchases are going to be at a normal rate, so let me kind of show you what's going to happen here. This one, for example, will only spawn you main hands and off hands. This is going to be head, chest, shoulders, or legs. These are the first you're going to be doing when you're level 60. You're actually not going to want to do these other elements as much. So like mystery jewelry, necks, and fingers, don't do this till Hell 4. And at Hell 1, which you are now, you can do hand, waist, and feet if you want. So this gives you chance at legendary items. And the rate that you get these is actually kind of decent. I'll test this out. Normally when I do this 10 times, which is how many times I do it a day maximum, I get at least 1 legendary, but it's RNG. So look what happens. Notice right here, daily purchase limit. But it's a little trickier than that. So there we did 5. Now, if you get down to 15, and I got a little unlucky there, unfortunately. I was hoping I'd have some luck here. if you do it any further, it's going to go up 50%. And then if you go any lower, it's going to double it. That's not worth it. So do no more than 10. So I recommend if you have the gold, when you're trying to unlock your different legendaries, you can go here and do these first two at first. For example, I'm kind of looking for neck and fingers. So let me see if we get a little lucky here. Again, knowing my luck, because I'm doing this on a video, I'm not going to get anything special. So, okay. So I didn't, but it happens. Anyways, you will get these. I've had days where I do 10 of these here, and I get 2 or 3 legendaries. So RNG is RNG. But anyways, that's worth it. Sometimes you may even get green or yellows, which are the rares. That will be upgrades for you as well. Okay, next we have the Charm NPC Charm Vendor here, the Charm Craftsman. And these services are a little interesting. So in your inventory, you're going to have charms, okay? Now, this is an advanced charm that I've kind of leveled up. You'll notice I have a bunch of buffs on here, and like my Bone Spear is 4%, Bone Spike is 6%. This is actually pretty good. This took a lot of effort. This is not what they're going to look at first. When you first get them, they're going to look like this. Let me kind of show you. They're going to look like this, okay? So these are, they will have 1 bonus, and they're totally random. They're always going to be 2%. You can always equip this. What's going to happen is when you're leveling up from 1 to 60, you're going to get some of these, and they're just going to stick in your inventory because you're not going to be able to equip them to level 56 anyway. What you're probably going to want to do as a free-to-play player is simply find one that gives you a 2% bonus and one of your stats or one of your skills that is good for you. Stick it in your inventory, equip it, and forget about it. These upgrades are a couple percentage, and they're kind of a pain to upgrade. I do have a whole video on this, on how to get the most out of charms. So check out that video on my playlist if you're interested. But again, extracting and imbuing is going to cost you resources. It's these right here, the platinum, which you can farm for free. Again, check out my video on farming platinum as a free-to-play player. You can sell gems on the auction house to get this, but for the most part, it's not the most efficient thing. This is more about squeezing out a couple of extra percentages of power for pay-to-win players. So again, my recommendation, just find one of the charms that's just plus 2% to one of your skills, equip it right here, and forget about it till the end of time. Next, you have their Identifier, and you're going to find these everywhere, but in all the different sub areas. But here's the one for the main town, and you're just going to identify for free. So I had a legendary, it identified one of my legendaries. Now, what do you care about the legendaries? Well, the big thing here is each of them is going to have a unique power. We'll talk about this. You're going to unlock different powers. Every different legendary has a different legendary power that alters one of your abilities. This is how you diversify your different abilities. This is part of the free-to-play functionality, and you're definitely going to be collecting these different legendaries and then picking the effects that you care about for your specific build. Now next we're over here where I'm standing, and it's the Essence Transfer right here. And Zamina, the Essence Transfer, this is a very important NPC. What you can see here under Extract is that every single legendary, as I mentioned, has a different power. I've collected almost all of them, and you can actually see what they're going to be in advance. If you haven't collected them, they're going to be gray. And I don't know, I'm seeing if, yeah, here's one I don't have. I don't have the one that does Bone Spikes now also knock enemies away. So I've gotten almost everything on this character. But what the point is if you get one of these legendaries in your inventory, kind of like I have here, but you no longer want it because let's say you have a legendary, I have a legendary chest piece that's more powerful, which I do. Then you can do one of two things. You can either break it down for scraps, and we'll look at that at the crafter, or if you have never absorbed the essence, you always want to absorb the essence first. So you go on to extract, you're going to select it, and then you're going to be able to extract it. It costs like 3,000 gold, doesn't cost much, and now it's here forever. And so now what's nice is you can always go and you can go under your gear here, and let's say I have this helmet right now. It has Skeletal Archer. Your Skeletal Champions are replaced with Skeletal Archers. Well, I can change it. So let's say I want a different effect. Maybe I want my Skeletal Mage duration to increase. Or Command Skeleton now cause your Skeleton Champions to explode at their destination. All I got to do is select whatever I want, and I hit OK, and it will literally just inherit it. It's going to change the name, appearance, and legendary attribute, which is this. Everything else stays the same. So it's a way for you to have the same effect that you want, but you're constantly getting better gear, meaning better stats. And that's what you're going to be doing over time. You're going to be just basically gathering all these legendaries, and with the different patches, they've been adding more legendary affixes, so this is going to increase over time as you play. So here's another one I haven't unlocked yet. So your collection is going to keep growing, and you're going to kind of figure out your own build that you want to play or find one online. And this is going to be your best friend for that anytime you have upgrades. And again, this is for all these right side pieces, not the left ones. We'll talk about the left ones in just a little bit. So next we're going over to this oft ignore NPC. So this NPC to the left here is the Adventure Seeker. Now this is a feature that I feel like it's been underutilized so far. But there's side quests and elite quests, and you're going to be able to do this as you level up, and also early at level 60 to get some nice rewards and EXP, and also give you some cool quests. So the side quests are minimal. You can always come and get these and give you kind of random quests, get EXP gold. So this is part of your EXP rotation if you want it. But there's also elite quests, and there's currently only 2. You're basically going to get these special books that you're going to find randomly. I don't know how I got them. I just found them. But what you basically want to do is come and check it out and see if it gives you that option to do the quest. And it gives you this multi-step quest. It gives you a really nice reward, lots of EXP, and it has a whole story. So if you like the story of the game, this is a place you want to check out. Make sure and you do both these as when you get them. And maybe by the time you watch this, there'll be more that they add. But this is, again, this kind of hidden NPC to the left here, right here where I'm standing, Adventurer Seeker. That's another area for you. Now I want to quickly mention the Court of Whispers. This is where I'm selecting right here, which again is just kind of north of where we were at the Adventure Seeker. This is where you go if you end up wanting to join the Shadows. It is only one of 2 ways of joining the Shadows. You can go through the lottery, or simply somebody can invite you to a guild that's part of the Shadows, and you'll be automatically let in. That's how most people get in nowadays. But again, we're not talking about those yet. That's going to be kind of end game stuff, and we'll discuss that in just a little bit. For now, let's go ahead and go to these vendors over here, the Jewlers. All right, now there's going to be 3 NPCs here: the Apprentice Jeweler, the Master Jeweler, and the Crystal Merchant. Now I'm going to talk about the Apprentice Jeweler first. And so here, basically, you can manage all your gems. And what you need to know is there are 2 types of gems. There are basically standard gems that there's of various varieties. And this is going to remind you of like Diablo 2 or 3, because they just have stats. You can upgrade them. So they have stats like damage, resistances, armor penetration, potency, armor penetration, and health. And so these you're going to get for free more often than not. You can get them as quest rewards. You can also get them from loot packages, but you're going to mainly find them when you go and do 4-player content in the world, out in dungeons, or out in the world killing stuff. So for those of you that don't know, when you do content with 4 players, you get a buff that increases the chance of you finding basic gems. And some of these you're going to be able to trade, and some of you don't. So there are throughout the world what are kind of like hidden dungeons. If you go in those, they have to be 4 players. And if you go into those dungeons, you're going to get a bunch of gems. They're going to be not tradable, but you're going to basically be able to upgrade them here and put them into your gear. And it's just going to give you a nice boost to your gear. Now, the other ones that you get in dungeons, you're going to notice they are tradable. And those you can trade on the auction house. And again, I have a whole video about how to get the most out of your money, make a bunch of the platinum. So check out that video about selling gems on the auction house. So that's what those can be. And the way you can tell the difference is, notice here, this gem right here has a little icon. It looks like a scale. These are sellable. This one right here doesn't have the icon. It is not. Now be careful. If you were to combine a tradable gem through upgrades of a non-tradable gem, it becomes non-tradable, which should hopefully make sense. And the upgrade process is very simple. 3 of any one type increases to the next tier. So here is 3 topazes, rank 1. You go in here, I can hit upgrade, and basically for no money at all, it upgrades to the next tier. Boom. Here's a tier 2. And then if I get 3 of those, meaning it would take 9 of the tier 1 ones to upgrade to a tier 2. And again, here is a non-tradable one. Here's an example of the tradable one. Exactly the same stats. The only difference is one you can sell, one you cannot. Now notice here, right here, it said, oh, I can upgrade this. Be careful, look at this warning. I have a bound. Bound means you can't trade it, unbound. So this, if you let it, will combine it, and you will not be able to sell it on the auction house. So never do that. Never mix these two. So I always separate them. I always sell all of mine that I can, and I don't sell the other ones. So those are basic gems. They only go on the left. The right-hand side are your legendary gems, and they can be 1-star. Here's a 1-star. They can be 2-star. I don't equip any 2-star. And then there's 5 stars, and 5 stars can be 2 out of 5 all the way to 5 out of 5. I don't have any 5 out of 5s. This is where all the big pay-to-win stuff is. You are, as a free-to-play player, whatever you get lucky with, that's what you're going to want to equip, most likely. There are some low-level ones that are very, very powerful that you can craft for free. So Berserker Eye is a really, really good one. That's a huge one. Everlasting Torment is also a very good one for DPS. You're going to be able to craft these over here. Notice you can quite literally go and craft them. And they only take these runes. And these runes you actually get from doing the Elder Rifts. So this can take a little bit of time to gather, but you can craft these up. You can even craft up the tier 2 gems. So all the 1-star and 2-star gems you can craft up. That's what you're going to be equipping. Now, again, you will inevitably get some legendary gems or legendary crests, and you may very well get some of these, get lucky, and get like a 3 out of 5 of these, and you can equip them. Just note that they're going to give you some base power, and can you equip them? Yes, but this gets very, very expensive. The 1-star gems like this and the 2-star gems I don't have equipped, they are more reasonable. You may actually level some of these up. I have a whole video about gems. Do check them out. But in short, as a free-to-play player, you're probably never going to rank up these, 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5s to high levels. Even for me, I've spent some money, not crazy money, but some money definitely. And I've gone up to like rank 5, and this costs a lot. So again, don't worry about that. Now, why do I say don't worry about that? Because let me show you what this does. What this basically does is gives you resonance. When you upgrade these, you're going to get better stats on those little gems and better effects. But this is what everybody talks about, all the big money players. It's going to increase your resonance, which increases your base attributes, which is your health and your damage. Now, this is something that will make you level up faster because all of your gear is just going to be better. So notice here, the score of my gear is naturally 7,211, but now it's actually worth 14,000 because of my modifiers, my essence, etc. And so that's what the big thing. It's going to increase my damage and my healing. It is not going to affect these. So it's not going to increase my fortitude, my vitality, or my willpower, for example. It's not going to increase any of these effects from here. It's not going to affect any of this, the resonance. So again, as a free-to-play player, work with the gems you have. Don't stress about it. You can go to that crafting interface, as I mentioned, and you can go ahead and when you can get the gems, which you can buy at the vendor, I'll show you where it is in a moment, you can just work off of these. You can craft them, not spend $1, and get some decent little power, and it's going to help you progress. Okay, so that's what you care about this side when it comes to the legendary gems. Now, I will mention these 2 other vendors, but again, they are not going to be a big part of your free-to-play mode. So this basically allows you, if you get any of your gems to tier 10, and I did that for a rank 1 gem or a 1-star gem, which was more reasonable, it lets you unlock some extra powers. Like for me, I unlocked the 10% extra damage to my bone spear, and here it's an extra 10% life to my skeletal mates. Nothing to write home about. Because this is all about milking that money and getting the most out of the legendary gems, this is stuff that you're not going to really want to focus on as a free-to-play player. And even the token that lets you awaken this is about $10 in the auction at the money store. So again, this right here, don't worry about it. If you're interested to learn more about it, I do have a video on it. Check it out in the playlist. Next, Crystal Merchant. This one again is, you can buy this and it does cost platinum. Now platinum you either buy with real money or you can again make it by selling stuff on the auction house, namely those unbound gems. And this is only important of upgrading normal gems above rank 5. Notice, I am Paragon 179. All my gems are capped at rank 5. I haven't even bothered to get them to rank 6. It takes a lot of work, and those are required. So as a free-to-play player, your goal is to get all of your socketed gems to rank 5. That's like the super ultimate free version of these gems. That's all you need. All right, so now as a free-to-play player, we're going back to the Palace Courtyard here. And I'm going to show you 2 more NPCs here. And notice we're next to the Bestiary Heraldic altar here. So you have the Crest Merchant right here. And if you talk to him, this is where you can buy Eternal Legendary Crest for either the resources. This is like basically the paid currency. Or if you do a Warband raid, and a Warband raid is kind of like mini clans. Think of them as like 8-player guilds that go together. If you do one of the raids, then once a week, you can, for 1,600 of these platinum, which again, you can technically earn by selling gems on market, you can get an Eternal Legendary Crest. So Eternal Legendary Crests are the ones that you get legendary gems up to 5 stars that you can trade. So these are worth a lot. I don't even really do this, even though, you know, on my main character, half the time I forget to do this because it's a bit of a pain in the butt. But that's what this is mainly for. As a free-to-play player, you will rarely use this bottom one. And maybe sometimes you'll do this if you get into a warband that clears these gems or clears the raids. And then we have the Fading Embers and Runes vendor. Now remember I told you you could craft those different gems? Well, this is where you spend it. You can buy the Fahd runes, and now the Fahd runes are interesting because these are the ones that you use, and you can just straight up buy a legendary crest. So those are the crests that let you run the Elder Rings, the Elder Rifts, and they have a chance of getting up to a 5-star gem. If you don't want to play the Russian roulette of that, or the roulette rather, and you just want to craft a very specific gem, then you go and find out whichever gems you needed. Remember when you were on the crafting section, it actually gave you the gems. So they'll tell you, like it might be a ware, or it might be a pyre. You just write down whichever ones you need and you buy them here. And they just cost these different runes that you're going to get from running dungeons. And so there's magic ones, which are the blue quality, and the rare ones here. So you just need to buy up whatever you need. And again, you're going to buy these using these Fading Embers. And notice it says here, weekly limit. You're going to earn Fading Embers for completing Elder Rifts, with or without crests. And then if you're playing with somebody else, so multiplayer, you're going to get these as well. So you can get up to 400 of these Fading Embers and then buy them. So this is kind of, again, a long-term way of earning some legendary gems, mainly 1- and 2-star gems. But again, if you want to push your luck, you can go ahead and get these right here, the Fahd runes, and those are exclusively used for buying the Elder Crest Rifts, or the Elder Crests, legendary Elder Crests, so you can get a chance for up to 5-star gems for free. Okay, the next feature is here for a free-to-play player, and this is the Iben Fahd Sanctum. This is basically known as the Sanctum for short. You're going to unlock this in the story, and you're going to learn about it, and it may be a little confusing. Let me show you what this is. This is just another way of gaining player power. And it's something that can be free to play, or it could be very pay to win. But basically, once you level 60 especially, you're going to do a bunch of different activities. And these different activities, mainly it's killing different world bosses that will unlock on the open world. Or, for example, this one right here, the Iben Fahd's Tenacity. This one right here, I believe it's this one, yeah. This one, you just have to get lucky. You get it by opening up one of the chests at the end randomly. But what's going to happen is, These are different ways of upgrading. Notice I have rank 14, rank 10, rank 13. And you're going to spend these gems here, these garnets, these sapphires, and these beryls to upgrade this. And you're just going to get buffs to your stats. Everything from damage, resistance, all your secondary stats. Here are my total stats. And the higher the rank, the more they cost. So this one right here, to get rank 13, it's 350. To get 14 or 15, it's 450. It scales up pretty crazily. So how do you get this? Well, again, you're going to be unlocking these doing a variety of activities. I have a video that talks about these, one of my older videos. You can check it out. But it's mainly doing world content and clearing the different world bosses. It's pretty easy. But then every single day you can come in here. And let me show you what happens. I'm going to run through this. And all you do is you go through here. And you're going to have some easy mobs you're going to kill. This is very, very simple. Just for doing this every single day, you're going to have one of the daily little bonuses for completing this. And really, you're going to have these aspirant keys that drop. And I think on average, every time I do this, you get about 5 aspirant keys. Now, there are a variety of ways of getting aspirant keys. The 2 most consistent free-to-play versions of getting it. Number 1 is just running this every day and getting your free aspirant keys by killing all these monsters as you go by. And then you're also going to get them free-to-play by going to the Hilt vendor every day, and you can buy them. And I'll show the Hilt vendor when we get there. So we'll go ahead and quickly, I'm going to kind of try and go through this as fast as I can. Okay, now when you get to the end here, you're going to go to the aspirant's ground, and you're basically finished the main area. You're going to find this room with all these chests, and what's important here is the first one's always going to be free, so you want to open this up, and it's going to give you basically like 1 or 2 of each one, okay? And then you're going to notice each one, I have 519 of these. If you're curious, if you save up 377, you can actually open up all the chests in this area that I'm about to tell you about. But it starts with 1, then it's gonna, so the first one I open, I got 1, and I get a certain amount of these. Then it costs 2, but then it starts to go up dramatically. So it doubles to 4. This one I think was 8, I want to say. And once you finish all of these chests, it's gonna give you 2 options. You can either leave, or it's going to open the next door. Now let me kind of show you what happens if you go in here. If you go in here, there's going to be a couple of monsters. So you can kill these real quick, get some loot. So it never hurts if you clear that first room. And there's going to be another room of chests. You can do the same thing, but notice it's now these cost 10 and it's going to keep going up. And there's another way to exit. You can keep doing this and this goes up to 3 more times. Once you're done with the final room, again, if you were to open all of the chests, and it will cost you 377 to do it, you'll get a bonus little area like this pops up. You get some bonus gems, which is like 20 or something. Is it really worth it? I don't know. You don't get anything special for doing it. It's mainly there for people that have a ton of these keys, because you can buy them with real money as well. That's the main reason they have this. But if you're a free-to-play player, you can just go into that first room. You can at the very least get that free one, and then however many you want. Now do note, as I mentioned, one of those big gems that you unlock for those powers is by opening one of these chests randomly. And it seems like it's totally random. When I got mine, it took me a couple of months, but I got it in my first room, just out of these random ones. So it's not like you have a bigger chance, as far as I know, from the other rooms. So if you have a ton of them, you can go. But if you're just speeding through this and you want to just get your little bonus, because you're not going to get extra keys for finishing the other rooms, just do that first room, open whatever one of these you want, and return here. It takes you to the main room, and you can click on here, and now technically you can invest them. So look how many you have. If you have enough to upgrade one of the ones you want. Like, so for example, I'm mainly trying to get my main damage buff. So I just see if I have enough of that. And if I don't, I just hold on and move on. Like, see, I have enough for the next one, 400. So I went and I upgraded. It only gave me an extra 8 damage. So it's not going to like make or break you, but it's a long-term increase. And so that's what this is for. So it's an extra thing for getting a little bit extra player power. And also the activity gives you some EXP. So next we're going to run up here to the Immortal Overlook. So similar to how we had the shadow entrance that we talked about earlier down here, this is the entrance for the Immortals, for the big shots, right? So you can't even go in there unless you're an Immortal. But what you can do is you can go up here. And up here, you're going to have a couple of things here. I have this person to talk to. Don't worry about her. She's only here right after a cycle ends. So here I got 200 health, which is kind of nice. But you're going to have two NPCs that you do care about. The first NPC is the Battleground Captain. Now, Battlegrounds is PvP. PvP is only open at certain times. Every 2 hours, with 2 hours off. 2 hours on, 2 hours off. Between 8 a.m. and like basically midnight. Now, this is very PvP. This is like pay to win for the most part. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Because even if you participate and lose, doesn't matter. You're going to get some nice, you're going to get these up to 3 times these challenge bonuses. These are really good. You're going to get a lot of EXP. You can get mystery equipment. And I've gotten a lot of legendaries through this. This is a big deal. Also, you might get lucky. I have found that in most PvP battles, especially in the low ranks, it's either you get randomly on a team that gets steamrolled and destroyed, or if you get lucky, if you get some whales, you are going to basically win no matter what you do. And you're going to get basically more aspirant keys and glowing shards. And these are upgrade materials that you get from breaking down legendary gear. So this is really, really good. So you can totally luck out. The only thing is if you're going to be kind of weak and go PvP, don't run ahead and get yourself killed a bunch. Stay back behind. You can cast a spell or two if you're comfortable, especially if you're a ranged character. But just try not to die. Especially if you notice that your team is winning, don't go and cause them to lose. But just the battles last between 5 and 10 minutes. Get these done. If you want to min-max your XP, do it 3 times and then be done with it. Next, you have the Hilt Trader, and this is for everybody. There are 3 tabs, General, Immortal, and Limited. General is from everybody. Whenever a cycle changes, and again, cycle changes occurs when Immortals lose and new shadows go into power. So you'll get these. You can buy them for 50 hilts. And you get some rewards, like crafting materials, etc. Now, there's a couple of them that you want to get all the time. The main one is the Legendary Crest. It'll cost you 1,600. Notice I have a little bit under 20,000. If you do a variety of activities in the game that we talk about, you're gonna earn hilts. So once a month, you should be able to, at the very least, get your Legendary Crest. Get this. This is worth it. It's one of the ways you get free Legendary gems. These other ones, I never get the mystery legendary gems. This is not worth 1,600. This is a specific 1-star gem, definitely not worth 1,600. These are, don't bother with the daily crest. This is just trying to trick you to take your hilts. You're going to get one of these for free every single day, and the rewards aren't even that great. I do like getting the normal gems because you can get up to 10 of them every single week. Again, if you're making enough hilts from your activities, then do these every week. Reforged stones are to, we'll go over this when we craft, but it's to get special affixes, random affixes on your gear. And then I do like buying the aspirant keys. Those are, again, if you buy 5 a day, it's $250. I normally get $250 a day. And then you have the simple charms. Again, for free-to-play players, don't worry about this. It's not really worth the effort and the amount of potential real money or the platinum you're going to spend to get a good charm. So don't worry about this as a free-to-play player. Ignore this. There's a limited tab that you'll have access to. This basically twice a day it resets. So you never know what's going to be here. Enchanted dust, worthless, 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 worthless. I only look for normal gems. Get those whenever you can. Whatever you're working on. So right now I'm actually working on getting some armor, some of my armor gems up. So I'll get that. The immortal one is only if you're an immortal. So don't be too jealous of them. They get access to eventually getting 1 extra legendary crest. Most of this other stuff is kind of worthless. Stuff you're not going to buy. So don't lose sleep over it. So that's all you care about when it comes to the Hilt Trader. All right, next we're going to go to the Selene's Basilica. And my character is running over here. But basically, this is kind of a new feature they added maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. This allows you to change your main character for free once a week if you want to. Now, I made a new free-to-play character just to show things off, but especially if you end up spending any money or you get lucky and you get a good legendary gem just from one of your legendary crests, this lets you change your class for free. So let's say I don't want to be a necromancer anymore and I want to be a barbarian. I can change that. It's going to transfer every over. I keep all my legendaries, all my progress. Next week I can try a monk. The week after that I can go back to necro or try a wizard. So this is kind of a cool feature, and again, for free-to-play players, it's a nice way to just stick to one character and you can swap around. So that's a new feature they added. Next, we're going to go over to here to basically this piece of armor. And what this is this allows you to save different armor sets. I haven't updated this in a while, but you can create a different armor sets for PvP, for PvE, save them, reload it. I've been needing to update this for a while, but I haven't PvP'd in a while, so I haven't been doing it. So this is just if you end up having different equipment for different purposes, different skills for different setups, you can do this. Some people will have one setup for everything and not care. A lot of free-to-play players will not collect different gear. They're just going to have one set of skills for everything, and that's perfectly fine. But no, that's what the armory is for. Next, we're going to go over here to the stash. This is where you can basically, right now there's only one stash. I'm surprised they haven't added the ability to buy more. So there's not that much room, but you can stash any of your gear from different sets that you're going to get in case you're collecting them here. So again, not that much room, but it's there for you. Now, before we go to the crafter, we're going to pit stop in one more area, and that's the auction house. Now, the auction house lets you buy and sell stuff using platinum. Again, platinum you can buy with real money, but you can also sell stuff. So notice, here's what I'm doing. What I do, and this is the tip I give, I always sell these for 3,600. I only sell rank 3 ones because they always sell for maximum real easy. And so again, this is the stuff that I mentioned, the tradable gems that I've been upgrading from rank 1 to rank 3. I list the items, and I think I get like 3,200. These will sell super, super fast. You don't have to worry about them. And as you can see here, let's say I sell both of these and get me about 7,000 or like 6,600 or so of these platinum. This starts saving up. Over some time, you can save up 10, 20, 30,000. And with that, yes, you can buy normal gems. Don't do that. This is where you buy your legendary gems. You can buy any of them. And let's say, again, you're a free-to-play player and you really want a blood-soaked gem. Well, you can buy some of them. It costs 64,000 for tier 2, 100,000 some of these. Obviously, the expensive ones are going to be ridiculous. You're not going to buy that. But some of these, especially some of the less popular ones here, you can get a rank 2 Howler's Call, which is a pretty nice gem, for 42,000, for example. So again, this is a way, as a free-to-play player, by selling gems, you can get platinum for free and turn it around and buy yourself legendary gems if you want for those effects. So that's what this is for, buying and selling. Free-to-play players will not use it a lot, but again, you will mainly use it if you do it intelligently. Sell your gems you got for free, those ones you get from running the dungeons at level 60 plus in groups of 4, and then sell them on the auction house after you upgrade them to tier 3. Now, last and but not least, well, almost last, there's one more pit stop we're going to talk about, which is going to be the central square and the rating. We'll talk about that in a second. We have the blacksmith. There's going to be two things you're going to do here. You are going to refine what's called scoria. And scoria you're going to get from running raids. And so we'll do that right now, and I'll show you. And you're going to use this for just another way of gaining power. But the main thing, you're going to use services. So first of all, you're going to go here to salvage all your junk. So we're going to sell the blue, and it actually told me one of my yellows is better than my current gear. So we're going to go ahead and equip this. Transfer everything. Boom, we're good. All right. So I'm going to go and sell this just to get rid of all your junk, right? I'm also going to sell this. Here's a legendary I don't need. Now, it will warn you if it's something that you haven't soaked up the power for example. So pay attention. And I'm keeping all my set pieces. Now, this is where you upgrade all your gear. And you can upgrade your main gear and your secondary gear. your main gear, you'll notice I'm ranked 13 here. You're going to be using this upgrading basically money and these materials, scrap materials, enchanted dusts, and glowing shards. You're going to get the scrap materials and enchanted dust just from breaking down the white, blue, and yellow gear. This is why you still want to pick stuff up and salvage it, because you're going to get that. The glowing shards you're going to get from different basic quest rewards, but mainly from breaking down legendaries, okay? And then you're going to need some money. Now, the first couple levels, you're only going to be getting small stat increases to willpower. Notice this is not a lot either. Willpower from, even when I go to next rank up, which I can now rank up to rank 14, which I will do here as an example, it's only going to give me 3 more stats, right? So there we go, boom. But what's going to happen is as you rank up, my next one's not until Paragon level 190. That'll be a while. Or actually, yeah, I'm almost there, 179. Anyways, but what you're going to notice is you're going to have, as you level up through the earlier ranks, you're going to eventually unlock 1 and then 2 of these extra slots. That's where those reforged gems were for. So, for example, you can get them at the Hilt vendor, and I also got them randomly as rewards. But what you can do is you can hit reforge, and these are free. And if let's say I don't want this one, I don't want damage taken while suffering loss of control, decreased by 3%, I can use one of these. I have 217 of them, and it will give me a completely random one. Now, if I wanted better choices, let's say I only wanted one of these. So the wildfire ones will either give me an increase to primary attack, all skill damage, crit hit, or heal party members, or tremor. Let's say tremor is another example. So primary attack, reduced enemy healing, etc., etc. You can get these, but these cost basically the equivalent of real money most of the time. You'll randomly get them. Like I've gotten like one of these, and one of these over time. But those are expensive. I just get the free one. I can reroll this 217 times if I want to. And so let's say I don't want this anymore. I hit reforge. And so I can either keep the one I want or get this new one, and it's random. Heal party members 1% on death. This is stupid. I don't want this. So I keep this. So you're going to be able to re-roll this until you get ones. Each effect also rolls between different percentages. So I think this one goes from like 1% to 6%. I don't know what this one is 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, something like that. But basically, this is one way you can customize your gear. Each one of your slots has this. So this adds up. So let's say you really wanted primary attack damage increase. I think this goes up to 3.5 or 4%. If you got this on every slot, that could get pretty big. But again, you can kind of get your own combination levels up. Main thing you're going to be doing again is first upgrading this as you hit different Paragon levels, saving up the materials here and upgrading them. Now, early on, you're going to run out of enchanted and scrap materials a lot. So here's a cool trick though. You can talk to the smith material person here, and you can basically buy them. So using the basic ones as a cost. So notice I have almost 33,000 scrap materials. So if I don't have enough of these enchanted dusts, I just buy them. It's 10 to 1. So for 100 enchanted dusts, I can get 10 of these. That's pretty good. Now you can get the enigmatic crystals, but this is really expensive. This is not worth it. 4,000 to 1. That's rough. Or you could trade your other one. So if I have a bunch of the glowing shards, I can get them for this. Or if I have a bunch of the enchanted, which I don't. So mainly I use it for getting these enchanted dusts. This is why I said running those challenge rifts to as high as you can every month, every time before it resets. You're going to want to get these to maximize your enigmatic crystals. You're also going to get it from raids. And again, once you have what you need, go here, go to upgrades, upgrade them as best as you can. You see, I probably don't even see. I don't have enough of these, so I have 30,000. I only need 1,500, so I will go ahead when I'm not recording and I'll buy these up. I have enough of everything else. I should be able to get all these to 14. Now, the ones on the left here are a little different. They are for your secondary loots. Now, these are important because this is where early in the game you're only going to get yellow gear at best. But then you're going to unlock set pieces, and we're going to talk about those in just a second. And they cost scrap material and enigmatic material as well. And as far as I know, you do not upgrade, you do not get any like secondary powers. But again, they cost a ton of enigmatic crystals. So this is quite expensive, as you notice here. 125, the next one's 150. So I'm normally not limited by my level requirement. I just never have enough of these enigmatic crystals. But I was able to get to that one to level 5, this one to level 5, and this one to level 25. So I'm 5 on all of them. That increases your stats a little bit. Again, it's nothing to write home about. We're talking about went from like 8 to 11, plus 3 to your willpower. This, again, something that you're going to slowly upgrade. Now, let's talk about these set pieces now, because eventually you're going to be able to collect a 6-piece set. And if you click on them either on your mobile or on your PC, you're going to scroll down and you're going to notice there are set bonuses for all these sets. This is the Shepherd set that I'm collecting, and I have 4 pieces. Now, these sets are amazing. So this one's meant for example, for having pets. At 2-piece bonus, my summons do 15% more damage. And then at 4-piece, critical hit chance increased by 3% for each of your summons, up to 18%. And since you have 6 pets, quite often, that's 18% crit. That's insane. And if you get a full 6-piece bonus, this is really nuts. I don't have this yet. I need to get the rings. Your summons enter a frenzied state for 12 seconds each time one of them critically hits. Frenzied state increases their attack speed by 60%, cannot occur more often than once every 40 seconds. So these 6-piece bonuses are insane. So you can choose either to have a 6-piece bonus, or 4-piece bonus from one set and a 2-piece bonus from another, or 3 different 2-piece bonuses. Now, if you keep scrolling down, you can find out where to get them. This is the key. So scroll down, here's my Shepherd set, click on this icon here, and it tells you, here is the gloves. It says it drops in Destruction's End, but notice Hell 2 only. So as a free-to-play player, when you hit level 60, you're going to be Hell 1. If you run Destruction's End, it will not drop in Hell 1. Legs, however, or these boots, will. If you go to the Temple of Namari and farm it, kill it over and over, you'll eventually get the boots to drop. And then the belt is also Hell 1 plus, so Kukuras Rapids. So these 2, you can get your first set bonus right off the bat. Then when you hit Hell 2, you can go to Tomb of Fahd. So as you can see here, by the time you get to Hell 2, you can get a 4-piece bonus. The big wait is till Hell 4. So Hell 3 is really slow. You don't get anything. I just hit Hell 4 not that long ago, and now if I farm Forgotten Tower and Mad King's Breach, I can get these 2 pieces and get my 6-piece bonus. You can get the same information for all the pieces by, again, just look at any of the pieces you get. Once you get them, you're inevitably going to get them. Like here's my Mountain Bane's Slyness, same exact here. Click on here, down here, and take a look at where you can find them. So here it's Pit of Anguish, Forgotten Tower. There's obviously some crossover. Mad King's Breach, Caverns of Echoes, Temple, and Rapids. So that's what you're going to be doing. Once you're at level 60 in Hell 1, you're going to be basically farming your legendaries, set pieces, by running those specific dungeons. Your goal is just to get your 2-piece bonus as soon as you can, then get your 4-piece bonus as soon as you can, and then 6-piece bonus, because the bonuses are going to give you major power increases. So that should be your top priority. Now, you will also get legendary pieces through dungeons and through different quest areas. And then the other way to get it is just farming in the world. If you go and farm just content, either through doing your dailies or by checking out farm spots. And I already have, I think, at least 1 farming video for Fast EXP. Check it out. I'll be coming out with more, so check out the playlist in the coming days and weeks. I will create videos tell you where to farm. In a perfect world, you farm with up to 4 people. You sit around in a specific area, kill mobs over and over that spawn quickly, get a ton of EXP, get those bestial orbs, turn those in, and just get lots of EXP. It's technically faster than running dungeons, and then also you get a good amount of legendaries. So, again, as a free-to-play player, Main way to kind of get your free power is dungeons and then doing those dailies and just world farming. But we're not done yet. Next, I'm going to take you Central Square, and this is where you're going to unlock the Reliquary, and these are the raids. Now, there's a bunch of them. There's been basically 3 that have unlocked since the game released, and there's going to be more that are going to unlock. Actually, sorry, 4. My bad. I'm surprised. I thought I already did this one. I guess I didn't click on it. I know I've actually killed this with a group, but what you're going to notice, if you pay attention to chat, people are going to just invite people randomly. Need more for LaSalle. Need more for Vida. Need more for Goroth. Need more for Gishtor. And they come in 3 different difficulties. These difficulties will tell you recommended combat rating. You as a free-to-play player will probably be underpowered for most everything early on, except maybe the lowest level of LaSalle. But again, people will literally invite you just so they have a body. And like the big money players will carry you. So you'll go in there, die, they'll beat the content, and you can just get resurrected and get the loot. Now your combat rating is here. If you ever go in your inventory and then you click on here, more attributes, it'll tell you, like my combat rating is 3,400. That's decent. It's not crazy good. It will go up a lot when I get my set pieces, for example. And obviously, if you spend money, you can get this way, way higher. But so 3,400 for reference, as you see here, this final boss, just to fight the tier 1, they recommend 4665. So I'm not even close to required to beat it, but I have beaten it because I got carried, and this is very common. Now you do want to run these because what's going to happen is when you kill them, you can kill them up to twice a week for rewards. You're going to get scoria, you're going to get legendary loot, you're going to get exp, you're going to get money. You're also going to get these items, these trophies, and I'll show you what these are about. So you get these. You also will get a chance of legendaries, and when you beat these monsters, you're going to basically have this Reliquary that you'll unlock through the quest line, and you can equip them here. And what's going to happen is whatever you equip up here, you're going to get the special bonus. You're going to get a combat rating increase, which is fine. But then you're going to get a special attribute for your challenge rifts. And remember, challenge rifts are important because they're the ones that are going to give you those crafting materials for the secondary items, the left items that are hard to get. And it's also going to unlock your ability to basically get better loot in the game. So this gives you 10% cooldown. I've killed 4 other bosses throughout the game, so if I want, I can swap this out and get 10% attack speed, 20% block chance, 10% crit chance, or here's another crit chance, or just a weaker and stronger version. Now notice this is only for challenge rifts, okay? So again, this in a way is optional, but if you pay attention to chat, people will be inviting people to this, and more often than not, they just need 8 people in a group, and as a free-to-play player, you can piggyback. Now, I did want to point out one other thing here at the challenge rifts. As you complete them, and I don't think it shows it to you, unfortunately, retroactively, but as you go through different tiers, and I think it's like at 25, at 50, at 75, etc., at different levels, you'll get a notice when you're about to fight it that if you clear this difficulty, it's going to up the tier of the loot that can drop for you in challenge rifts, in greater rifts, and also in specialty other events for the shadows and for the immortals. And so this basically means that when you upgrade, when you kill harder difficulties of the challenge rifts, you're going to get gear equivalent to the different difficulties. So when you first hit Paragon, Hell 1, Paragon, if you can do greater rifts, you're not going to get better gear. You need to kill a couple levels of the challenge rifts, and then it'll say you have unlocked gear to drop the equivalent of Hell 1. You go higher and it will say you have now unlocked the gear to drop equivalent of Hell 2 and so forth. So as you get more powerful, challenge rifts will become easier and easier. I haven't maxed it out yet. I can do over 100 now. I haven't tested myself fully, but I'll tell you that, when I was Paragon level 100, I could not do this. I was doing like 60 or 70. So even as a free-to-play player, as you get more powerful, you're going to get more of this. And again, remember, every time you get one of these levels, take a look, 20 more enigmatic crystal, every single one. This is a big deal for upgrading your gear. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk to you about as a free-to-play player is you will have the opportunity to either remain as an adventurer where you're not going to get any extras, or you're going to be heavily incentivized to join a shadow clan or eventually become a part of the Immortal. Now, if you become part of the shadow clan, and again, you can either do the shadow lottery and then form your own shadow clan or join somebody's, for example, you're going to get access to the shadows. Now, I have full videos about what these are all about, so check them out. But in short, it's going to add extra activities that will help your clan, but also help you get hilts and XP and loot. And so if you become part of the shadow clans, all you need to do as a beginner, especially if you're not into high-end PvP and you're not going to partake in all the PvP stuff of the guild, come here, go under my rank. Every day, it's going to give you an option: complete a contract, raid the vault, win a battleground. This is going to be RNG for you. You may not get this, but raid the vault is easy. Again, I have videos about it, but you go and it's an activity you can do as a shadow. Completing a contract is basically kind of like a daily mission. Again, I have videos on that, but it's just, you can quite literally click on complete a contract. It'll go here, it'll navigate. I have 3 more I can do this. And it goes to an NPC bartender. You pick either a solo mission or one that will end in you needing to clear a dungeon. So if you're going to run dungeons with people, you can pick that one. If you just want to do a solo one, pick the solo one. Really good rewards, really good EXP. Do these. You get 1 refresh a day. I'm kind of behind, so I've maxed out at 3. I want to do these. If you do all 3, you only get 1 more a day, but this lets you like take a day or 2 off and not worry about it. And then the other main thing for you as a free-to-play player is going to be Path of Blood. This is kind of like the challenge rifts, and these are these little battles. They take sometimes 10 seconds, but there's 100 floors, and when you do these, they're going to basically give you marks. They're going to give you XP and stuff too, but it's a way they can help your rank. And remember, your ranks are going to give you rewards. You're going to get hilts, and it's also going to help your kind of guild, your clan. So as an activity, you're going to do the contracts on a daily basis. You're going to do Path of Blood. Maybe you'll raid the vaults. These other stuff, Shadow Wars, Rite of Exile, this is mainly for the people that spend a bunch of money. Don't worry about it too much. But if you're wondering about them, check out my videos on the Shadow Wars. Now, if you're lucky enough to join the Immortals as a free-to-play player, there's going to be only a couple things that are going to be new to your experience. Elements like Rite of Exile are probably going to be unavailable to you, as that's going to be mainly for people that are majorly pay to win, but that's okay. So even if you just log in and be part of the group, you're likely to keep your spot as long as you remain active. And the main way to do this is to contribute. And the way you're going to contribute is by doing your daily goals. There's going to be 9 of them every single day that you can do. And when you complete them, you're going to get these little chests. And the chests are going to give you a bunch of resources. You may get loot, materials, etc. And as you can see here, they vary to a certain degree, but some of them are really simple. Some you may get points just for inspecting the Immortal statue, completing challenge rifts, completing bounties, collecting gems, running one of 3 different of these dungeons. And these do vary from time to time. And then there's some other elements like Keon's Ordeal, for example. Now, I've made separate videos on all of these activities, so you can definitely check them out separately. But again, note, just logging in and doing the majority of these daily activities is what's going to be unique for you as a free-to-play player compared to being one of the shadows or just one of the main adventurers. And I do want to point out those specific contributions. They're going to give you a variety of little bonuses. But the main thing you're going to get is you're going to get some hilts, and the hilts you can spend at the hilts vendor that we've already discussed. But do note, as an Immortal, you get access to some extra Immortal unique rewards. And again, for reference, here you are under the Hilts Trader. This is the Immortals taskbar. You're going to unlock some of these over time. You're going to be able to buy extra sigils, but you're also going to be able to get extra crests, legendary items, specific gems. And once you get to a high enough rank, you're also going to be able to monthly purchase 1 extra legendary crest, and that's for the 1600 hilts. So there's just some extra benefits that you're going to be able to get as an Immortal. It's not anything that you can, that you're going to probably lose sleep over, but it is a nice little bonus in case you were wondering what the Immortals get. All right, guys, so that's everything you need to know as a free-to-play player for Diablo Immortal. As you can see, most of the things you can do for free. Now, there's going to be major content coming out that's going to give more story quests, more progression. I didn't even talk about the different kind of timed events. So there's seasons, and with each season that unlocks new battle passes, there's also going to have different timed events. Because this will change over time. It's not going to, I don't want to put anything that's relevant right now because it might be confusing for players. But note, you can always go, and if you click hit escape or this menu, you can see what events are going on at any given time. Right now we have the fractured plane. For this period, you can do different activities to unlock and get different rewards. So this is just stuff that you're going to be able to have access. This is an ever-growing game. Always new stuff to do. Again, as long as you're not super competitive in PvP, wanting to be the best, you don't have to spend a dime. And I want to point out, if you're active in a clan, if you log in every day and you do activities and your shadow clan happens to win the Shadow War, well, you may become an immortal. It is very possible. We had at least, I would say, between a quarter and a half of our people in our Immortal Guild, and I've been part of the Immortals 3 times now. Basically, my guild was the very first kind of Immortal on the first change, and then we've obviously lost it. We've won it either as the primary or the secondary guild 2 more times. And there's always been at least a quarter to half the people that are free to play. The people that play stay in. You get most of the benefits. I mean, you may not have your picture on a statue or something, but you get all the little, all the glitz and glamour, all the little cosmetics, etc., or most of them. So you could do most of this as a free to play player. Don't be tempted if you don't want to spend money on a game. There's lots of fun stuff to do. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you found this helpful as a free-to-play player. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I will make sure to read and answer them to the best of my ability. Do look forward for more guide videos, especially for EXP farming, etc. in the future. Let me know your requests of what kind of content you want to see. Again, thank you for the support. If you want to support the channel, drop a like, drop a comment to help with the algorithm, and subscribe for more Diablo Immortal RPG and looter shooter goodness information, and I'll see you guys in the next video.